What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I was looking at an article about 10 minutes ago, and it was talking about how Joel Embiid is the first Sixer since Wilt Chamberlain to do something. So I looked at it, and as I thought it was a meaningless stat that really didn't mean anything. Some numbers crunch, nerd jargon, where it said that Joel Embiid is the first Sixer since Wilt Chamberlain in 1967 to average 36 points and 10 rebounds over a 7 game span on the road. And it was interviewing him and telling him about those numbers and talking about how he's been playing very well on the road, needs to play better at home, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. So, got me to thinking, man. Got me to thinking about a couple of things, but in particular, it got me thinking about how, once again, the media, I'm talking about the mainstream media, are not even handed when it comes to what they expect out of supposedly great players. What I mean by that is Joel Embiid is a player, when healthy, when in shape, can post very dominant numbers. Very dominant numbers. There's no mistake about that whatsoever. But it's when he's healthy, uh, when he's in shape, and quite frankly, when he's motivated. Because we remember 2 years ago, I think it was the 2000, what was it, 2019-20 season, before everything got shut down. I think it was that year when Shaq and Barkley were on TNT and they had to motivate this guy to have an MVP caliber season. He was averaging like 22 and 11. I mean, those are great numbers for a B level all star, but not a guy supposedly of his talents. Then, of course, there's always been issues with injuries with him. There's been issues with, supposedly his diet. The man loves milkshakes and burgers, and we've seen some years where he looks very heavy. So, this is my thing. Why is it that a guy like Giannis, and I keep bringing up Giannis because I think there's a lot of unfair uh, criticism levied at him at times. Why is it that a guy like Giannis, who's won a championship, right? The ultimate goal of any player, he's won a championship, and he did it in dominant fashion. I think in that finals he averaged something like 34 points and 13 rebounds, something in that range. It was Shaq-like numbers in the finals, 50-point closeout game. And remember, he was coming off of a pretty gruesome looking leg injury. And I'm very sure Anthony Davis would not have played on if it was Davis. We know that shit, right? But yet, still, Giannis doesn't get the respect of a lot of people that follows the NBA. This is something people don't understand. I had someone said, "Well, Too Raw, we get tired of people like you trying to make us like Giannis. We don't like him. You don't have to fucking like the guy. That's not. Look, there's a difference between like and respect. You think everybody that respect Michael Jordan liked him? No. You think all of Bill Russell's teammates liked him as a person? No, because Bill Russell could be he could be a moody, snarky, uh, brooding asshole. But they respected him because of his greatness and his leadership ability and what he provided for the team. You could at least respect Giannis, but they don't. But yet, these guys like Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic and guys like that who can't even fucking stay in shape. Joel Embiid has never played more than 64 games in a season. Joel Embiid has never been in NBA Finals. If I'm not mistaken, they never even been. He's never been to an Eastern Conference Finals. I have to think about that, but I don't think he has. No, never been to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I don't see the same pressure. I'll put it like this: put upon him that I've seen with Giannis. Now, maybe this will change when his contract is up, which is, I think, no time soon. Maybe that will change. Maybe if he indicates that he's not going to re-sign with with Philly, maybe they'll change with the media. I don't know. But then there was a period of time when it was slightly unsure what Giannis was going to do, and I still don't recall the media kissing his ass like that. You know, of course, you had some who thought he was going to go to some big market team and help some other guy win a ring, but he shut that shit down. But the basis of my argument is this: like, certain people, they get to just put up mediocre winning stats, but great individual stats. I understand Ben Simmons isn't there and all that, man, but at the end of the day, I can't. I'm not using that as a crutch, man. Nope, nope. The Bucks haven't had Brook Lopez all but one of these fucking games this entire season, and the Milwaukee Bucks is right there. Now, I'm not saying Brook Lopez is the same player on the same level as Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons isn't all that either, in my opinion. He's a really good player, but he's not an elite superstar player either, in my opinion. So, if Joel Embiid is indeed better than Giannis, a lot of people would say that, right? They say he's more skilled, he can shoot, he can do certain things better than Giannis, whatever. If he's better, then why is Philly always losing? Why is Philly always disappointing in the playoffs? Why? And it wasn't just Ben Simmons last year in the playoffs as to why Atlanta lost. A lot of it was. A lot of it was. But I've seen so many games in that series where Joel Embiid faded down the stretch, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that he wasn't in the best shape. A lot of turnovers, him fading, getting tired, and shooting threes. Where Giannis in the playoffs, he got hurt. It looked like he wasn't coming back. He only missed two goddamn games, I think it was. And in the finals, his recuperative powers were ridiculous. He got stronger and stronger every game, and the Bucks overcame adversity. The Bucks were down 0-2, and everybody thought the series was over, and people was prematurely crowning Chris Paul, the new king of the NBA, and all of that. And the Bucks won full straight on their ass. But I tell you, he gets no respect either. He just doesn't get any respect, you know. But Joel Embiid, though, he gets to put up big numbers on mediocre Sixers teams, and it is what it is. And it's not like he doesn't have help, you know. Shit, you could argue when you really look at some of the players he's playing with, you could argue that in some ways he has a little bit more help than Giannis, especially when you do have a Ben Simmons on the team, but he still ain't getting the job done. So does Joel Embiid really elevate everybody on his team the way that a Giannis does, or the same way that, say, a LeBron does? I will give him this: when LeBron is playing at his strength, when he's a floor general, that's the LeBron James that I fear. That now when LeBron is that mode, he's a great player. Uh, who elevates his team, even though he does still have to have a specific type of team around him to succeed. Chris Paul, that's a guy that elevates his team, usually. But Joel Embiid, I mean, yeah, he will help you. You put him on a team, he'll help your chances of winning. But something's going on. There's something going on with Philly where they just don't get it done in the playoffs. And it's not just Joel Embiid, but I just want to. I'm just. If I'm a little bit all over the place, it's just that I'm frustrated because there's certain stars in the NBA that get called out a lot more for not winning or not being even more dominant than they are. But then there's some stars who just get to exist and put up great numbers on mediocre teams, and there's no expectation. And that's something that bothers me. And yes, I'm talking about not just Joel Embiid. I'm talking about Luka Doncic, and to a certain extent, I'm talking about Nikola Jokic. At some point, when are we going to demand that all of these guys start stepping up? I'm talking about the younger players. When are we going to start demanding that they need to lead their teams to another level to be getting all of this effusive praise? But anyway, that's all I got to say.